Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Sunday, October 8th, and we are still in Galatians chapter 3. We just did Galatians 3:6 on Friday, and in order to really fully explain verse 7, I've got to back up a little bit to verse 6 and just kind of give you a reminder of what that said. So when we go back to verse 6, it says, just as Abraham believed God, and it was counted to him as righteousness. Now, Paul is saying this to the Galatians to remind them that Abraham did not have a relationship with God because he followed the law. The law hadn't even been received yet by the people. And so because of that, it was his righteousness and it was his faith that was counted as righteousness. Now, does that mean that he lived 100% sin-free? No. What that means is that because he had faith, he was considered righteous. Just as we are considered righteous, we have the righteousness of Jesus Christ because we put our faith and trust in him. Now, for the Jewish leaders, that would have been kind of hitting, they probably would have seen that as, oh, you're hitting us below the belt. They really held Abraham in high esteem, but they didn't like to talk about the fact that he was righteous because of his faith. They didn't like that being pointed out. They liked their rules. They liked their position within the church because they could look down on other people and be elevated. So, they didn't want that to be pointed out, and it made them feel very uncomfortable. So then we get to verse 7, and it says, know then that it is those of faith who are the sons of Abraham. So now Paul hits it even harder, and he says, the true sons of Abraham, the true people who are following after the model that Abraham had set up, are the ones who have their salvation through their faith, not through their works. They're the ones that have that. So that would have really been a very, very strong, in your face, we are boldly saying you've got it wrong. And those Jewish leaders would have taken serious offense to that. Keep in mind that this group of Galatians was trying to teach that you could get saved because you followed the law, because you were works oriented, you were earning your way to salvation. But what the reality is unless you have been completely sin-free from the moment you were born, there's no way you can be saved because of your works. It all happens through the faith. God accepts us because we are entering into his family and we're being adopted as a part of his family. It's not that we were born on the right side of the tracks. It's not that we earned our way there. We simply have it because of our faith. And unfortunately, over the years, a lot of Christians have moved away from this and gotten very, very focused on those rules, those regulations, you gotta. And that removes the grace. So right there, that should point out to us that it's the spirit of religion. If the spirit of religion's entire purpose is to remove God's grace, and when you encounter a works-based teaching, it is removing the grace, and we've got to be very mindful of that and really call it out when we see it so that we don't fall into that trap, and we remember that we're saved by grace through our faith. That's Ephesians 2:8-9. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.